I cannot believe what I witnessed last night. I truly can't. It was the most impressive feat I have seen all season, and that's not hyperbole. There is no exaggeration to make my point. I don't think people fully understand how hard it is to digest an NFL playbook. Baker Mayfield, he was released from Carolina on Monday. He shows up to Los Angeles on Tuesday. He practices with the team on Wednesday, and he leads a 98-yard drive with no timeouts to win the game with the whole world watching on Thursday. You cannot properly state, the English language does not have enough words to adequately praise what Baker Mayfield did last night. It truly doesn't. Shady, when I think about this is one of the most impressive things I've seen contextually in the history of ball, knowing 48 hours. 48 hours, the first 48. Baker Mayfield went out there, won the game, Joy. I was truly without words. I know you are not, so let's hear them.
Okay.
What did Baker prove last night?
I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. We've seen some pretty crazy, amazing accomplishments in the NFL. I don't know that this one's going to rank quite that high. Two teams that are most certainly going to be on the couch with us come playoff time in the middle of the season. I'm not going to be Debbie Downer today, but I'm not going that far. What a great night for Baker Mayfield.
Great night.
What a great night for the Rams. Congratulations, Sean McVay. I'm sorry for doubting you, although that story is still in its totality yet to be told. But that is impressive. To be at a organization, to be in a city, really, for 2 days, to be able to conduct, with some help from the Raiders, but nonetheless, conduct a 98, 99-yard drive, game-winning drive, it is impressive. Like, there's just nothing else that you can say about it. It is impressive that he was able to do that. And it speaks to the confidence that Baker has in himself that he was able to pull that off. I can't say anything negative about that drive. It was impressive.
What did he prove to you? I know you felt some type of way going into the game. Clearly, you know that was impressive. Not that it changed your opinion of Baker Mayfield, but what, if anything, did he prove to you over the course of at least those final 12 minutes, if not the 60?
Could we just let him have his moment with me? It was a great accomplishment. You're not even gonna let me get through the 2 minutes of the show? It didn't prove anything. We know Baker's talented. The question has never been, is Baker a talented guy? You don't go #1 overall in the draft because you don't have any talent. That's just not possible. We've seen Baker have incredible moments in this league. The question with Baker is never, is he talented? We know lots of talented people that don't do anything with their talent, that can't get out of their own way. That's Baker Mayfield. He can't get out of his own way. I know there's an excuse machine and a whole book lined up for all the reasons why Baker Mayfield is not capable of reaching his full capabilities in the league so far, and some of them can be true, and others can just be excuses. At the end of the day, Baker is a talented quarterback. He is certainly capable of playing good football.
Some positive.
And winning games.
I love that. That is progress. LeSean McCoy, what did Baker Mayfield prove to you last night?
He proved to me last night that he still got a lot in the tank left. Right? He showed me how smart he really is. He's very intelligent. Before I even talk about Baker, I'll just say I had a similar story where in Buffalo, it was a numbers thing where they was trying to make a pay cut. I wasn't with it, so they released me. Went to Kansas City. Now, this is the last preseason game, so we had a week before we had our first game. Now, I get to Kansas City for a week, though. So I'm in there getting up at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., working out. Then I'm studying. And at the time, I'm in my 11th year. So I'm a smart guy. I've been around. I know what's going on. And I picked up the offense pretty fast, but it took some time. For that guy to go over there in 2 days, 48 hours, and really get that offense, like this dude was doing no huddle signs or signals. Yep. I was like, ain't no way. So this watching that and seeing that shows how extremely dedicated he is. You got to be dedicated, man. To get up and go over and over again over the plays, studying for only 2 days to prepare for it. So that was cool to see. I'm not going to say that Baker was, like, super talented. I never, even going #1 overall, I never seen that. I watched this game. I thought he played with heart, played with chip on his shoulder. Talent was never his thing for me. Yeah. When I watched that game, man, he showed me a lot of talent, showed me a lot of heart, grit. A lot of respect.
Yeah, I think that is why I'm so glad Baker Mayfield had that game. Because, Joy, I don't know that everybody unanimously believes that Baker Mayfield was talented. Yeah, I think a lot of people were like, Baker ain't all that talented. That's me. Co-sign, I think I've heard those opinions from others as well.
Little tall.
You know what I mean?
Little
people
arms.
say he's not that athletic, all the things. Yeah. But you have to be talented to do what he did.
That's
which
true.
is why I like, and Baker's a football player in the figurative sense, America, not the literal sense. To show up and just go out there and play ball, that's what it was. The shortest I've ever had a playbook, I recall the All-Star game, Senior Bowl. After college, if you're one of the top players in the nation, you go to a Senior Bowl. You get a week.
Yeah.
But that's still a week
Right.
to learn a whole playbook. And Baker got 2 days. If that truly, he got a day and a half. He got
he's
all
playing
day
the
Wednesday.
quarterback position.
That was tough.
Wild.
Yeah.
Like
Did you see the 2 minute though? He was like calling the plays out and the signal.
That to me, Joy, is why I said what I said, and clearly, obviously, it sounded like hyperbole, but like I rank this up there with some of the most physically difficult tasks I've ever seen. I remember Thomas Davis broke his forearm in the NFC Championship game, played in the Super Bowl against the Denver Broncos.
Yep.
That was incredibly physically taxing. I'm telling you, you gave me that look, but like that is how I feel about the moment. Like to be able to digest a playbook and execute on a moment's notice is unspeakable.
See, like I don't want to undersell how impressive it was that he was able to do that. I also don't want to oversell the lack of importance of that game and the Raiders' unique, special ability to insist on losing games in these situations. Like, two things can be true.
That's the point.
I don't want hyperbole to get away from us here and it sound like hate, because I'm truly not hating. It is really impressive what he did. Now, what are the consequences of this?
For the Raiders, a lot.
For the Raiders, yes.
For the Raiders,
okay, yes, but he doesn't play for the Raiders.
Right.
Correct.
So, so like macro sense, when we won't get to that conversation yet, nor do we really need to today. We can if we want to. I'm prepared, but I don't want to take away from his moments by contextualizing the significance of it too much. What you're talking about is someone sacrificing their heart and body to win to go to a Super Bowl. This is a regular season game against the lowly Raiders who can't get it together, and the Rams are out of it. That's, again, I'm not hating. Like, it was very, very impressive what he was able to do. And I think Baker, where I would push back a little bit on the talent thing, and when people don't say that, like, I think Baker's specific talents actually lended to this situation working out the way that it did, because Baker is not somebody who likes rules. He's not somebody who likes structure. And when you give him too much, he usually falls apart. So he's a football player. Like, he's a football guy. Put him out there, go play, go make plays, go do it with grit. Like, have this moment. Baker's actually kind of uniquely designed to do this. When we look at the way that this game went, which was a hideous game up until the end of the game.
Last 12 minutes.
Yes. When you look at the way the game went, that's what it was. Like, it was nothing really. It was, he made some throws that were kind of impressive. Already, he's been here 2 days. It wasn't really until this moment that we all kind of took a step back. Like, wow, that's really impressive that Baker did that. But the Raiders also completely fell apart. I'm not looking at that drive like that was textbook Tom Brady, like we saw the other night. Like, that's Peyton Manning with precision in a big moment. Like, that was a bad opponent, a team that can't get it together, that can't get out of their own way, and Baker Mayfield not thinking, going out there and playing football using his specific talents, which I think actually lend to this situation. He wasn't like running Sean McVay's offense.
But here's what frustrates me about that statement is this. What Baker Mayfield did, in my mind, was more impressive than what Tom Brady did against the Saints, by far and away. Who were Baker Mayfield's wide receivers? Skrynowski? Van Jefferson? Who were Tom Brady's wide receivers? Julio Jones, flirting with the Hall of Fame. Mike Evans going to go into the Hall of Fame. Chris Godwin, a top-flight wide receiver, plus the running backs present. Furthermore, like, yes, the Raiders made mistakes. You need somebody to leave the back door open if they're going to rob you. Because you recall, and we talked about it earlier, we talked about it after the Saints made that mistake. Mark Ingram could have ended the game against the Bucs. Yeah. If Mark Ingram steps out of, takes one more step, the game's over. But he didn't, and Tom Brady wins. The Rams had a penalty, or the Raiders had a penalty, and the Rams win. Yeah, but to me, it's the same thing.
Yeah, no, you're right. I got to give him his love, because that was impressive. Because even you could tell that he still was new to the offense. It was super conservative in the beginning, right? Then they had to throw the ball, so he had to make plays. Some of the handoffs, he was going the wrong way, right? So you could see that it was still new to him. But we got to talk about the Raiders, though. I can't sit here and just look, Baker did good, but we got to keep it real. Like, a new quarterback that's been there for 2 days, how you let him beat you? First of all, the D coordinator, real quick, all the people out there that think you have to play football to know football, that's not true. A great example is last night, right? That D coordinator was terrible, yo. Terrible. A quarterback, hold on. A quarterback that gets there, right? And within 2 days, you just playing bump and run.
I understand.
Hold on, let me finish.
All right.
Yo, they had a 98-yard drive, right? 98 yards. No timeouts. Sure. No timeouts, no 2 minutes.
Sure.
How the hell do you just play bump and run, man up? Press.
I will tell you.
Press.
I will tell
you. Instead of playing back, right? Don't let everything in front of you. Eat the clock up. Play the sideline, make tackles,
sure.
Eat the clock. That was terrible football. That was terrible.
You know what would also help? After a big clutch moments, big sack, probably don't knock the ball
don't get a penalty.
out of the quarterback's
That
hands.
dude.
I mean, that's just undisciplined. That's crazy.
That's terrible.
You were talking about stuff I've never seen before. Like, that is an insane thing to do.
But to me, again, I'm like, okay, Shady, let me first answer your question.
Please.
It's a football question.
Yeah.
If you are the Raiders and you have your secondary and you're looking at Tutu Atwell and you are looking at Bren Skrinowick and you're looking at Van Jefferson, what you're saying is this: our defensive backs can lock up their third, fourth, and fifth string receivers.
And who?
That's the first thing you're saying.
But the D-backs, them dudes is nobody's too.
But the second thing you're saying is this: if I sit in zone, there are going to be guys open. So I'm going to sit in man. I don't agree with the decision, but I do understand the decision. The most pivotal thing is what Joy said. If you don't get the penalty, I don't care about the penalty because of how stupid it was. I care about the penalty because it stopped the clock. That was the game changer. The Rams had no timeouts. Minute 20 seconds left. They got a sack. They would have been down at the 15-yard line. The 15 yards doesn't kill you as much as stopping the clock and not allowing the Rams to burn an additional 30 seconds when you have no timeouts.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.